Hey, listen, I'll tell y'all now, they on the Snapchat, so they gonna be on y'all ass, y'all, if y'all recording this. They gonna be on your ass, they gonna be on your ass. Your ass is a witness. Hey, don't hit them.
Look at this chaos. This isn't a movie, this is Minneapolis right now. Federal vehicles are being looted, confidential documents are hitting the street, and the situation has completely spiraled. We need to talk about what is happening on the ground immediately.
Hey, listen, I'll tell y'all now, they on the Snapchat, so they gonna be on y'all ass, y'all, if y'all recording this. They gonna be on your ass, they gonna be on your ass. Your ass is a witness. Hey, don't hit them.
Oh, wow. Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
Ideally, we'd start this with a deep breath because that footage is intense. You are looking at a complete breakdown of order. What stands out to me here isn't just the looting, it's the specific target. These aren't random cars. These are federal law enforcement vehicles. When you see government documents, papers with names, addresses, sensitive intel, scattered on the pavement like trash, that is a massive national security failure. It tells us that the local containment strategies have totally evaporated. The confidence of the crowd is staggering. They aren't afraid of consequences because in that moment, there are none. This sets a dangerous precedent. Once people realize they can breach federal property with zero resistance, the escalation ladder gets climbed very, very quickly. It's not just about a stolen radio or a vest. It's about the total loss of authority in that zone.
It says at 6:50 p.m. Central Time tonight, quote, federal law enforcement officers were conducting a targeted traffic stop in Minneapolis of an illegal alien from Venezuela who was released into the country by Joe Biden in 2022. In an attempt to evade arrest, the subject fled the scene in his vehicle and crashed into a parked car. The subject then fled on foot. The law enforcement officer caught up to the subject on foot and attempted to apprehend him when the subject began to resist and violently assault the officer. While the subject and law enforcement were in a struggle on the ground, two subjects came out of a nearby apartment and also attacked the law enforcement officer with a snow shovel and broom handle. As the officer was being ambushed and attacked by the two individuals, the original subject got loose and began striking the officer with a shovel or broomstick. Fearing for his life and safety as he was being ambushed by three individuals, the officer fired defensive shots to defend his life. The initial subject was hit in the leg. All three subjects ran back into the apartment and barricaded themselves inside. The attacked officer and subject are both in the hospital. Both attackers are in custody. This is another attack. This attack on another brave member of law enforcement took place while Minnesota's top leaders, Governor Walz and Mayor Frey, are actively encouraging an organized resistance to ICE and federal law enforcement officers. Their hateful rhetoric and resistance against men and women who are simply trying to do their jobs must end.
Okay, pause and process those details. We went from looting vehicles to actual hand-to-hand combat in the streets. The reporter mentioned a snow shovel and a broom handle. It sounds almost absurd until you realize the lethal intent behind it. This wasn't a protest. This was an ambush on federal agents conducting a specific operation. The fact that an agent had to discharge their weapon in self-defense changes the entire complexion of this conflict. It's no longer civil unrest. It's bordering on open urban warfare. And think about the optics here. Federal agents are being physically assaulted by groups while trying to detain a suspect who has already been released once before. This cycle, catch, release, violent confrontation, is exactly why the tension is snapping. It's a systemic failure that is now playing out in violence on street corners.
There's still a lot that we don't know at this time, but what I can tell you for certain is that this is not sustainable. This is an impossible situation that our city is presently being put in. And at the same time, we are trying to find a way forward to keep people safe, to protect our neighbors, to maintain order. And we're in a position right now where we have residents that are asking the very limited number of police officers that we have to fight ICE agents on the street, to stand by their neighbors. We cannot be at a place right now in America where we have two governmental entities that are literally fighting one another. Why are we put in this position? We're put in this position because we have approximately 600 police officers in Minneapolis, far fewer that are able to work at any given time. And there are approximately 3,000 ICE agents in the area. 3,000.
That was Mayor Frey, and if you listen closely to his voice, you hear a man who knows he has lost control. He's admitting it plainly. This is not sustainable. He cites having only 600 officers versus 3,000 federal agents, framing it like a mismatched sports game. But that framing is fascinating, isn't it? He's describing two government entities, local police and federal agents, as if they are opposing armies. That is a constitutional crisis in real time. Instead of cooperation, we have competition. He's essentially saying we don't have the manpower to stop the feds, rather than we need to work with them to restore order. It reveals a deep fracture in the chain of command. When your local mayor views federal assistance as an adversary to be managed rather than a resource to be utilized, you end up with the chaos we saw in that first clip. The citizens are stuck in the middle of a bureaucratic power struggle that has turned violent.
The federal government is raining down upon our communities. 2,000 to 3,000 armed agents of the federal government have been deployed to Minnesota. Armed, masked, undertrained ICE agents are going door to door, ordering people to point out where their neighbors of color live. They help us establish a record of exactly what's happening in our communities. You have an absolute right to peacefully film ICE agents as they conduct these activities. So carry your phone with you at all times. And if you see these ICE agents in your neighborhood, take out that phone and hit record. Help us create a database of the atrocities against Minnesotans, not just to establish a record for posterity, but to bank evidence for future prosecution.
This is an incredible escalation of rhetoric from a sitting governor. Did you catch the language? Armed, masked, undertrained. He is actively demonizing federal law enforcement to his own constituents. By telling citizens to take out that phone and hit record and to create a database, he is effectively deputizing the public to conduct surveillance on the federal government. While transparency is good, in a volatile environment like this is pouring gasoline on a fire. It encourages confrontation. It tells the person on the street, these agents are your enemy, go find them. This is how you get vigilantism. It shifts the narrative from maintaining law and order to resistance against an occupation. When leadership uses this kind of us versus them language, it validates the anger of the rioters we saw earlier. It makes the violence feel righteous to them, and that is a terrifying place to be.
Here you go. Yeah, like I said, I don't have to do this. I'm happy to do this. That's all. We just got to stop this.
So he's got a lot of camera equipment. I think we can say this isn't
Yeah, I'm not. I tried to tell the first lady, nobody believes me. That's all I can do is tell you. I already shot. Listen, first of all, I don't have to do any of that, but I'm kind. I respect what you are doing. Yeah, no. I really appreciate what you guys are doing. I just don't understand the job and I don't know how to do it.
Were you here yesterday?
Yeah.
Yes, he was here yesterday. I can testify that. I didn't recognize him.
No, I appreciate your help. Thank you.
I'm not here to help you.
No,
I think the fact that you're in a vehicle like this at this time
I get it. But with all due respect to everybody, I can't help the way I drive.
Well, you can. You can go rent something else. I mean, if you're part of the media.
That's not how it works.
This is my business.
I know, but this is not how it works. So anyhow, I hope you guys understand. Not here to
He
cause any
was here
problems.
with a video camera yesterday.
And this right here is the inevitable result of everything we just discussed. This is the paranoia manifesting. You have a regular guy, probably just trying to get home or go to work, being detained by a mob because he drives a white SUV. They are forcing him to open his trunk, an illegal search conducted by random citizens on a public road. Look at his body language. He's terrified. He's complying because he knows he's outnumbered. This is what happens when the governor says, "Go find them," and the mayor says, "We can't stop them." The streets become a checkpoint run by whoever has the most anger. If that driver had panicked, or if he was carrying something they didn't like, that could have ended in tragedy. This is no longer about immigration policy or politics. This is about the complete disintegration of public safety. It's mob rule, plain and simple. This situation in Minnesota is developing fast, and the divide between local and federal power is widening by the hour. I want to know your take. Do you think the federal intervention is necessary to restore order, or is the local government right to push back? Let me know in the comments. Stay safe, and I'll see you in the next one.